Before she was a billionaire, before the Super Bowl stage, before her name became a brand, there was just Robin Rihanna Fenty, a barefoot girl running through the streets of Barbados with music in her heart and a dream far too big for a small island to contain. Rihanna's story isn't just about fame, it's about resilience, transformation, and rebellion wrapped in velvet. She didn't just rise to the top of pop culture, she rewrote what the top even looked like. From the Caribbean to the big stage. Rihanna was born in 1988 in St. Michael, Barbados. Life was warm, but not always easy. Her father's struggles with addiction and her parents' separation painted her childhood with both color and shadow. But through it all, music was her escape. She sang to herself, to her friends, to anyone who would listen. At 15, she formed a small girl group and performed for fun. Then fate, disguised as an American producer named Evan Rogers, stepped onto the island. Rogers was vacationing there when he heard Rihanna sing. He was floored. There was something about her voice, raw, untrained, yet magnetic. He took her to New York to record demo tapes. Soon, one of those tapes landed on the desk of a then up-and-coming rapper turned music executive, Jay-Z. When Rihanna walked into his office to audition, she was nervous. But when she started singing Pon de Replay, the room stopped breathing. Jay-Z reportedly told his team, "Don't let her leave until we sign her." And just like that, the island girl became a Def Jam artist. The meteoric rise. Her debut single Pon de Replay in 2005 exploded worldwide. The Caribbean beats, the sunshine energy, and that unmistakable accent, all of it made her stand out instantly. People danced, clubs pulsed, and a new star was born. But Rihanna wasn't satisfied being a one-hit wonder. With each album, she reinvented herself. A Girl Like Me, 2006, made her a radio favorite. But Good Girl Gone Bad, 2007, turned her into a phenomenon. That was the era of Umbrella, the song that defined her career and crowned her as pop royalty. It wasn't just her voice, it was the attitude. Rihanna carried herself differently. She wasn't the polished, smiling pop princess the industry expected. She had edge. She had confidence. She was unapologetically herself, and that energy resonated with millions of women who were tired of being told how to look, sound, or act. Pain behind the spotlight. Success was dazzling, but it came with a heavy price. In 2009, the world was shocked by the assault incident involving her then-boyfriend, singer Chris Brown. It was brutal, public, and deeply personal. For many stars, that kind of trauma would have broken them. But Rihanna did something extraordinary. She took the pain and transformed it into power. When she returned with Rated R, her sound had changed. The soft edges were gone. In their place stood a woman with fire in her voice and steel in her spirit. Songs like Russian Roulette and Hard were confessions set to beats, angry, defiant, but undeniably real. The world watched a woman heal in real time, becoming a cultural force. Rihanna didn't just keep making hits, she started shaping culture. By the early 2000s, her image had become iconic. The short hair, the tattoos, the attitude that said, "I do what I want, when I want." She could move from pop to reggae to R&B to dance without missing a beat. Tracks like We Found Love, Diamonds and Work weren't just songs, they were soundtracks to an entire generation. And while her music was dominating charts, her fashion sense began dominating headlines. She wasn't following trends, she was making them. Whether she was wearing a Swarovski crystal dress at the CFDA Awards or walking the Met Gala carpet dressed like a pope, Rihanna was redefining what it meant to be bold, from musician to mogul. Then came one of the most brilliant pivots in entertainment history. Rihanna took a step back from releasing music and started building something much bigger. Fenty Beauty. Launched in 2017, the brand was an instant revolution. Until then, the beauty industry often ignored darker skin tones. Rihanna changed that overnight with her 40 Shades of Foundation that catered to everyone. It wasn't just makeup, it was representation. The world noticed. Within weeks, Fenty Beauty was being called a cultural shift. It made millions, then billions, and Rihanna became the first woman to create an original brand under the luxury powerhouse LVMH. Next came Savage X Fenty, her lingerie line that celebrated body diversity like never before. Her fashion shows weren't just runways, they were events that blended music, performance, and empowerment. Models of every size, color, and gender walked with confidence, and Rihanna sat front row, grinning like the proud architect of a new era. Love, family, and rebirth. By the time she reached her 30s, Rihanna had achieved everything artists dream of, but life had another surprise waiting. In 2020, she reconnected with rapper ASAP Rocky, a longtime friend. Their chemistry was undeniable, equal parts cool and comforting. Together, they became the definition of power couple. In 2022, Rihanna revealed her pregnancy in a photo shoot that broke the internet. Draped in a pink coat with her belly bare, she redefined maternity fashion and made motherhood look fierce. That same year, she welcomed her first son, RZD. Her second Riot Rose arrived in 2023, followed by her daughter, Rocky Irish Mayers, in 2025. Motherhood didn't slow Rihanna down, it evolved her. She began showing up to events glowing, grounded, and clearly fulfilled. For a woman who had conquered the world, this phase wasn't about ambition anymore. It was about legacy. The return to music. Fans had been begging for new music for years, joking that Rihanna had retired to sell lipstick. But in 2022, she finally returned with Lift Me Up, a hauntingly beautiful tribute to the late Chadwick Boseman in Black Panther. Wakanda Forever. The song reminded everyone that even though she'd been gone from the charts, she never really left music. She just expanded beyond it. Her voice, soft yet commanding, carried the kind of maturity that only time and life could give. As of 2025, the world is still waiting for her next full album, R9 as fans call it, but Rihanna plays by her own rules. She releases when she's ready, not when the industry demands it. And honestly, that's part of her power, a billionaire who still feels real. It's easy to call Rihanna a billionaire mogul, but that label doesn't capture her essence. She's not just rich, she's real. She still carries that Caribbean confidence, that unfiltered honesty, that spark that made Jay-Z stop in his tracks 20 years ago. Whether she's showing up late to the Met Gala or teasing fans about new music, Rihanna stays authentic. She knows who she is, and she never lets fame dictate her spirit. When she was honored as a national hero of Barbados in 2021, standing in front of her country in a flowing gold gown, it wasn't just a title, it was a homecoming. The island girl had returned, not as a celebrity, but as proof that dreams born in small places can still shake the world. She doesn't chase trends, and she doesn't chase approval. She is the trend. She creates approval. And above all, she reminds the world that confidence, authenticity, and vision will always be more powerful than perfection.